Hey there, I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate. And in this video, we are going to be doing something completely new for us. We're starting a new series of videos. We're going to see how this goes. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at some Kickstarter campaigns and showing you the ones that we feel might be a good mix for gamers and non-gamers alike. You know, a lot of games out on Kickstarter are big, heavy games, but there are some out there that are lighter, good family games, light to medium weight games, and so we are specifically focusing in on those types of games that we feel just by looking at the campaign and what they show on their campaign page that might be good for playing with non-gamers. And Sam is here, so she's going to give you what her initial impression is of seeing a particular game and letting you know what she thinks as a non-gamer about that. So let's jump right into this. We're going to take a look at some Kickstarter campaigns here. And we've got several pulled up, but we're going to start with Catapult Feud Hydra. So this is a expansion for Catapult Feud, which was on Kickstarter last year, I believe. So this is their second Kickstarter for this particular game. And guys, this is at the time of us recording this on Sunday evening. This has got 19 hours left to go, so if you're watching this video, hopefully we can get it out first thing tomorrow morning. You have just hours left if you really want to get in on this. You can see there that they already have over 3,000 backers and almost $330,000 worth. But let's take a look at this page here, and this is a game in which you are going to be building your castle and flinging rubber balls at your opponent's castle, trying to basically blow it up. And we'll take a look at them building the castle here. And you can see that this is kind of like a toy, right, Sam? I mean, this is like Legos. I mean, they're not Lego pieces, but you are building a castle, which is kind of cool, quite honestly. And you are going to have some cards that you're playing. You're going to pick a weapon that you're going to use. You can see that there's catapults, and it looks like there's a ship even. And this particular Hydra expansion, you're going to have the Hydra monster helping you out, flinging balls of fire. And there's also a volcano back there in the corner that's going to launch fireballs as well. And you can see there that it's being sent across the play space to attack your opponent's castle. You can see this video here where they're launching it and boom, breaks down the castle. So Sam, give me your thoughts on what you feel about with this game, Catapult Feud.
I definitely think our kids would really enjoy it. So I mean, that right there is a reason for me to want to try it, because we're always looking for something that our kids will want to play. I think they will want to play with the pieces.
Right.
So it'll be one of those games we have to keep hidden because they do still.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about with this particular one. I'm afraid that my kids are going to take this off the shelf when I'm not watching, and they're going to play with it as a toy, and we're going to lose pieces. Especially those rubber balls. I mean, I feel like you launch those things, and if you don't keep a good eye on it, they're gone.
But I do think it looks fairly easy. I feel like it would have to be a really big box for everything.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, I would think it would probably take up quite a bit of space,
or take a whole lot of time to put together.
Yeah, for sure. So here's that Hydra, which, I mean, that does look pretty cool. And that the center Hydra head there is what you are pulling back, the launch mechanism there. And you can see your orange fireballs.
I definitely want to try it.
Yeah, I would love to get a review copy of this and see how it actually plays in real life. There's the volcano. And you do have card play here, and so I don't think the card play is super heavy. I mean, this does look like a game you are supposed to play with kids, so I think the strategy here is probably fairly light. This is all dexterity and trying to knock down and aim with your fireballs. You can get the playmat, which you know, is just for looks there, and you can see that they are working on some stretch goals. Let's take a look at the pledges
All
here.
the ammunition you can do.
Oh, you can fire Christmas trees.
That's
Oh
cool.
man, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So it looks like to get the Hydra expansion is going to cost you $30, and to get that with the game is going to be $60. If you want the deluxe copy, it looks like it's going to be twice that at $120, and something with a 2-player bundle. I'm not sure if you need that to be able to play 2 players, or if that's to.
Otherwise, would it just be a
I think
player?
I think the base game is to play with 2 players. I think the 2-player bundle might be to get 2 more players in, so you can do a 4-player game. So anyhow, that's the pledges there for Catapult Feud. I definitely am intrigued by this, and I think it's really cool looking, and it's obviously got much appeal to it if you have younger kids. So check that out, and again, you've got 19 hours to get in on this one, so you really need to do so. So let's look at our next one here, and this is Prognosis Death from Flying Man Games. This is, I think this is their first game. This is coming from Australia, if I'm not mistaken, and it's for 2 to 4 players, ages 14 and up. Takes 10 to 30 minutes, so it's not a long game. But the reason why this really attracted my attention is because it says here that they design games with low entry barrier with a high skill ceiling. So basically what that means is it's not difficult to understand, it's easy to get into it, but there's a lot of strategy that you can go into this game with and use different techniques and strategy ideas. So that seems perfect for the kind of game that we're looking for on our channel. An interesting decision space, and it's a small package. With this game, it looks like you are playing as a doctor, and you are trying to be the one who outwits your rivals and healing this patient. This poor guy here, which you can't see on these first pictures, this guy right here, he is going to be patient 0, who is getting all of these symptoms that you are playing from your hand, and he just gets progressively worse and worse as the game goes along, and the things that he's getting are just the most outrageous things ever. Like, it looks like he's got a knife in the head there or something of the sorts. And this is a set collection game, is my understanding about it. You are choosing whether you want to play cards from your hand to make this guy more sick, because if you are going to heal him, you want to have as few points in your hand as possible to win the game, I think, if I'm understanding it correctly. And if you don't want to do that, because the more cards you play, the more likely he's going to die, you might be playing it the other way around, where you want the patient to die, because then if the patient dies, it's whoever has the most points left in hand. So there's kind of a balancing act there between that. You do have some iconography here, but I don't think it's too heavy. And the turn summary is fairly simple. You're going to draw or retrieve, and if you if you retrieve, you are going to looks like you perform an action and then challenge discharge, and if you do discharge the patient, then the game is over, and you see who won. So Sam, just kind of first impressions as you see this one, what are your thoughts on it?
I'm really interested. I think the time commitment is great. I love a short game. And I mean, the medical aspect of it, I really like.
Catches your appeal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a nurse. One of my favorite games is Dice Hospital, and it kind of has that intrigue behind it.
Right.
So, I like the idea that you can play it, from my understanding, fairly simple. Yeah. And then increase the difficulty of it.
It looks like it's a fairly simple game to understand, but lots of different ways you can play the game as far as your strategy goes. Yeah. So one that I'm really intrigued about and want to reach out to Flying Man Games to see if maybe we can't get a copy of this one. So
yeah, I like that one.
As far as the pledging goes for this one, it looks like 34 Australian dollars, which is about 25 American, to get just the base copy of the game. And you can get the Prognosis Death patron for 37 American dollars there.
Probably not one we want to play with the kids.
No, I think it's got a little bit of a darker theme there, but it looks like they take a humorous approach to that. So that is Prognosis Death. Let's move on to our next one, which this is from 25th Century Games, a publisher we have done many reviews for in the past. This is Blazon. It is a card drafting, puzzly tableau builder set in the world of medieval heraldry, where players create their own shield. So heraldry, it's a hard word to say, is the artistic creation of a medieval shield. And there was a lot of thought and input that went into creating those shields back in that day and age. And so in this game, it's 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, 30 to 60 minutes. There's going to be a center market. Let's get down here. So there's going to be a center market. You can see here in this little GIF that they have. With cards, and you are going to be acquiring those cards, and these cards function as both currency and victory points when you use them to decorate your shield. However, there is a bit of a balancing act when you choose those cards to put onto your shield, as you're going to have to discard cards of equal or greater point value to get that card onto your shield. So there's a lot of decision making as far as choosing carefully which cards to put on your shield and where to place them on your shield, and that's going to all influence how many points you get towards the end of the game. And there are certain communal objectives, so like objectives that everybody is trying to achieve, and if you achieve it before the other players do, you get more points, that sort of thing. So Sam, what are your thoughts on as we look at this one?
I think it looks a little bit more complicated than the other two that we looked at. It doesn't catch my attention as a non-gamer as much. It seems like an interesting theme, but I think it's probably a little bit more, I don't know if complicated's the word, but
a little
involved,
bit, yeah, maybe. A little bit of a meatier game, I think, perhaps. Yeah, and I feel like when I look at that with the muted colors, and you know, it's a little more. I don't want to say bland, but it looks more like a Euro game, if that makes sense. It doesn't have the bright, eye-popping colors that you would probably see more so with family games. And that leads me to believe that maybe this is a little bit of a heavier game, especially the way the design of those cards look.
It's an interesting thing.
Might be a little heavier game, but it's definitely one. 25th Century Games, they make great family games, so that's the one reason why I'm really intrigued with this one, and I want to see more about it.
Yeah, maybe look into it a little bit.
$35 is not a steep price for this one. I think that's a great price for this one with what you get with it. And if you do want the deluxe edition, you can pay, what is that, $15 more to get upgraded components. And everything looks really cool with the component quality here, as far as what I can tell just based on their campaign page. But anyway, that is Blazon, and let's see, how much longer does this one have running? 71 hours to go here on this one, guys, so you do want to jump on that if you are interested in it. So let's move on to our next one. And this is Dirty Laundry, which I think is just a funny name for a game. And this is a smaller game. You can see here that they are just under $2,000, 51 backers. Got 2 weeks to go on this one. This comes from, I think this is Kyoka Games. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. But anyhow, this is a Take That game, it looks like, for 2 to 4 players. I think that's 2 to 4 players, if I'm remembering correctly as I looked through this. Oh, 2 to 6 players, sorry. And 30 to 90 minutes here. And this is all about getting your laundry done. And you want to be the first player to wash all your dirty laundry. But you are going to be sabotaging your opponents, playing cards into their washing machines, and that's going to basically ruin their clothes, and they're going to have to play cards to kind of fix their clothes. So you can see here, you can play a red sock in your opponent's white garments, causing all of their garments to become red, and then they're going to have to place bleach in order to bleach their whites back to whites. Or if it's you're playing bleach on their colors, then they're going to have to dye their color clothes back to their correct color. So it's all a lot of take that sabotaging going on with this game. I don't know, looks interesting to me. Looks like a fun, humorous, lighter game. What do you think, Sam?
Does it teach?
Does it teach? Oh, gosh. You would bring that up. No, this has nothing to do with actually washing clothes.
If I came into this room and you had that set up without any explanation, I would think you're absolutely crazy to think that I would want to play dirty laundry. But
you want nothing to do with laundry.
No.
Okay.
It's a very funny, interesting idea. I like that it's ages 7+, so we could probably play with the kids.
Yeah.
It's pretty short. It's a very unique idea. I just find it very humorous. I do laundry all day long.
Why would you want any more laundry to deal with?
But it seems pretty simple.
Yeah.
I think it's a good non-gamer game, but it would be great if it came with instructions for...
No, it doesn't. It's not going to have anything to do with actually washing clothes here. $35, guys, for the basic pledge on this one, or premium, excuse me. If you want the bundle, which includes their previous game, Carry On, you can get that for $55. And they have other pledge options there if you are interested in that. But interesting game. I like the look of it. Seems like a fun little light game.
I think it'd be more realistic if it's like accidentally bleach your clothes, throw it away. You don't dye it, you throw it away.
Game over, you lose.
No. Underwear.
Up next is Boba Mahjong. This is from Tate Wu, which, full disclosure, guys, we did do a preview video on this game when they launched it on Kickstarter last year in 2021, so this is a relaunch. And so we have actually played this game, and if you watch that video, then you will know I absolutely loved this game here. I can tell you, as somebody who has played it, this game is a ton of fun. There's a lot going into needing... This is a two-player game, so it's just you and one other person, but there's a lot in the timing of when you want to score your points, because you needed to get them in increments of 5, I think it was. And if you didn't get 5 points, then you basically got no points. And if you didn't get 10 points, then you drop back down to 5. So it's that kind of aspect. I want to try to get to the next benchmark, or I'm basically wasting my efforts. And this is about Mahjong. You are basically playing a game of Mahjong. So basically what you are doing in this game is you are going to be creating sets of 3 cards, and each different type of card has a different scoring mechanism to it. There's some set collection going on in this game, and when you score that card, you are going to keep 1 card for in-game scoring. And that's what you use to try to get to those increments of 5, 10, 15, 20 points. I really enjoyed this game. Sam, what were your thoughts on it?
I don't have as good of a memory as you do. I do remember enjoying it. It was a pretty quick game. It was really easy to understand. So I do think it's a really good one for non-gamers. I'd like to play it again because I remember enjoying it. I just don't remember all the different aspects of it.
In fact, as I remember where we played this at as we were doing our preview video, we did this on vacation on a road trip, and so this was a game that you could take with you. It's very accessible, very travel-friendly game. Doesn't take up a whole lot of footprint. So take that for what you will. But looks like you can get a lot of the Sunrise Tornado games, including Macaroon, which we've previewed that. That was a lot of fun. And Cat Sudoku, which I think just looks like the most awesome thing ever. I like Sudoku, so I really want to try that out. But anyhow, that is Boba Mahjong. Definitely highly recommend it. Plus, I mean, you can't beat the price there. $10 is fantastic. So definitely recommend that one. Check it out. All right, so our next one is going to be, how do you pronounce this? Adorablins? Adorablins? Adorablins, okay. So this is the adorable pocket-sized storytelling game. It's for 2 to 5 players, 30 to 90 minutes, ages 8 and up, and it fits in your pocket. Looks like it's going to fit in one of those like mint tin boxes that you can put in your pocket, like it says. And so what this is, it's going to be a game in which you are telling a story. Kind of like if you were doing an RPG or something of the sorts, but there is an actual game to this. You're trying to get points, I think, to be the winner. You are going to be doing some dice rolling in this game, and there is a narrator who is going to tell you some challenges, some struggles that you're going through. But anyhow, you are going to be a character, and you're going to get some companions to go along with you who are going to help you out as you deal with whatever kind of challenges that you're involved with. And so let's get down here where you can see more about what is going to be happening with this game. Your companion can help you, but you got to flip over that companion because they got to rest, unless you use a snack to revive them, and then you can use them again as your story progresses. The narrator is going to read some kind of a script of some sorts telling you a story, and there's going to be some challenges that come along, some questions you have to answer, and some problems you have to solve. So you're going to take some actions, rolling dice to try to help you along that way. And there's going to be some conditions, it looks like, that you got to overcome for your character in order to do well in this game. Sam, what's this look like to you?
It's interesting. I like the small footprint of it, or the ability to take it with you. We're always looking for games like that. It's an interesting concept, the storytelling. I don't think we have a whole lot of games like that.
We've done some before with the kids, and we've always...
It's hit or miss.
It is, and the times that it works, it's really kind of a cool experience because you really get to see the creative side of your kids or your spouse or whoever it is that you might be playing that game with, and it can be surprising sometimes.
Yeah. I think you have to be in the right mood to play.
Yeah, on the other side of that, when you say it's hit or miss, the miss can be just...
I'm not always in the right mood.
Not everybody is always creative all of the time, and there can be some times where you just have, a brain fart, and you're just not...
But it seems simple enough. I like the idea of it.
Yeah, and I think this one, it has enough... this might come out the wrong way. It has enough hand-holding, I think, to kind of guide you through that. Get you to kind of have a good experience with it, even if you're not very creative. And I like the look of it, too. It's very welcoming. I mean, they're called Adorablins.
It's a good thing for non-gamers.
Yeah, exactly. It has a welcoming feel to it. So that's what really drew me into this. And it's not expensive, guys. The pledge for the physical game is $14 here. So that's very manageable. Looks like they've got some other pledges here if you want more stuff to go along with that. But that is Adorablins from Tim Devine. And so they've got over 600 backers there, almost $15,000. So let's take a look at our second to last one in this video. And this comes from Bezier Games, very popular publisher out there. They've done lots of cool fun games, a lot of games that I'm a fan of. This is a smaller game from them, Sink or Swim. This is about synchronized swimming, which I think is quite the unusual theme. I'm really interested in this one. This is a co-op game in which you are going to be everybody's trying to achieve the same thing each round of the game, and you're going to be playing your cards not knowing what your opponent, or not your opponents, but your teammates have. And so this kind of looks similar to those kind of games out there like The Crew or The Mind, The Game. A lot of the and then one word games out there. This has that same sort of feel, or at least that's what it looks like to me, where you can't really communicate about what you have in hand, and you want to try to just kind of be in sync with one another. I mean,
and that
sink or swim.
idea never really appealed to me, but the games that we have played like that are very interesting, and they typically are pretty enjoyable.
Yeah.
Just to have on hand for 2 players, I think it's a good thing to have.
This one actually uses an app too, which I thought was interesting. There is a real-time element to this game, which can be hit or miss.
Yeah.
There are real-time games that I really do enjoy, as it gives that tension. Cuphead was a real-time game that we really enjoyed. But it can also be too much stress, and it can kind of just make the game more stressful than it is fun.
This might not be perfect for like a non-gamer, but more of a game.
Somebody who will play games occasionally, a casual gamer, for instance. But anyway, this is a real time. I think you are trying to meet a certain challenge each round. There's a team captain, and that captain coordinates the strategy for the round. They start the timer, and then you are going to be trading cards, trying to make sure everybody has what they need to be successful for that round. If you can't trade to get what you need, then you can dive into the deck for what you need. But everybody's trying to play the right type of card. Like, so in this example, it looks like they all needed to play yellow submarines. And that's what you're trying to do. And you need to do so before the timer runs out. That sort of thing. So, I don't know, an interesting, cooperative, light, real-time kind of game. I don't know. One that I wouldn't mind trying out and just seeing how it goes. I wouldn't expect to pay a whole lot for this. Looks to be about $20 is the pledge there for that. You do get a ton of cards, so there is that. Going to be delivered later on this year, looks like. So anyway, that is Sink or Swim from Bezier Games. And our last one for this inaugural Kickstarter summary video.
The last if it doesn't go well.
Yeah, depending on whether you guys like this or not. Which, by the way, please do let us know what you think about this new series of videos down below in the comments. Let us know if you want to see more of these. This is Hike. And full disclosure on this, guys, we are going to be receiving a copy of this, a prototype copy, here in the next week or so, and we're going to be doing a preview video on this particular game. Hopefully within 24 days. Yeah, no, we are going to get that out there soon. But anyway, this is going to be a fast 2 to 6 player game in which you are assembling your husky, your dog sled team, trying to be the first to win the dog sled race. And so this game is all about card drafting, building patterns, and it is a race game. 2 to 6 players, as you can see there, ages 8 and up, 20 to 45 minutes. And this game is all about these dogs and putting them in a particular order. You want to try to match the colors on the borders. So you can see red is touching red, touching red, and then blue is touching blue. You really want to try to make sure that you connect those in the right way. And the symbols here, the different colors of snowflakes on the dog cards, is extremely important for the track that you are racing down, as you need so many of them to advance along this track. And this is a race game, so you want to try to get to the finish line first. So it looks very simple. It looks like it would play very quick, as a race game should be. A race game should be quick to get you that feeling like there's some a frantic energy about that particular game. You do get some cubes in it, so it's not just cards. I don't know, what do you think about this one? Just first impressions.
It's definitely interesting. I think the kids would like the idea of racing and the dogs and stuff. I had a teacher, I think in 6th grade, that was very into like the Iditarod, and we all got to choose teams, and this reminds me very much of, you know, like what dogs do you want in the front. I'm not sure if that's how it plays or anything.
Well, I think it does. I think you want to strategically place these in a manner that is going to help you advance down that track. And that track does change, I believe. I don't think it's static. I think depending on the order that these cards come out in, it's going to change the way the game plays. So you can't just use the same strategy over and over again. You're going to have to adapt. So yeah, and there is something to do with these cubes. I think that's like kind of a resource a currency kind of thing that you are needing to move those cubes around to be able to kind of use your dogs and get them to advance down the track there. So I don't know, looks really interesting to me. I'm very excited to get this one in hand and try it out and see how it goes. So that is Hike from Snowboard Games. It's their first Kickstarter, so they're doing very well. 843 backers, over $34,000, and they still have 24 days to go. So very, very cool for them. All right, well, there you have it. Sam, what were your thoughts on all of those? What one kind of stood out the most to you?
I think Dr. Death.
The Prognosis Death game.
Prognosis Death.
Dr. Death. That would be, it seems like that would be like a Marvel game, Dr. Doom or something like that. I don't know.
I think we should back that one.
No, you do?
It wasn't expensive, right?
No, I think that was a pretty cheap one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that one was very interesting to me. I think some of the other ones that I really am intrigued to know more about, obviously the Hike game, the one that we looked at the very end there, but I kind of want to back that Catapult Feud.
I think that
to kind of experience it.
I think the kids would just be thrilled to play that.
I think that would be a one that would definitely get a lot of time playing. I'm just really worried about losing the components to it, and it, once you lose
obviously
something.
This is something we deal with in our house with 4 kids.
Quite a bit.
Pieces. They think that they're toys.
Yeah, quite a bit. So, well, there you have it. Let us know which one speaks to you the most for whatever non-gamer you might be looking to try to get to the table and play a game with. Let us know if there were some out there that we might have missed that maybe we should check out, and hopefully they will still be on Kickstarter by the time we do our next segment of this video. If you really like this video, please give us a thumbs up and comment down below. We might try to do this again in 2 weeks, make this maybe a bi-weekly kind of thing. I don't know, it just kind of depends. So let us know what you think on it.
Make sure to like and subscribe and push that bell button so you get notifications of all our new content.
I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate, where we try to bridge the gap between gamers and non-gamers. We'll catch you